If you are looking for some appetizer ideas and you're wanting to have options that are keto, low carb, or gluten-free, you are going to love the recipes in today's video.
The first recipe is for these buffalo deviled eggs, and I have become obsessed with like buffalo everything recently. So when I saw this recipe, I knew that I wanted to make it. So I started out by just taking my hard-boiled eggs and slicing them in half. I will have all of the recipes in today's video linked in the description box below, but this one I did have. So then I'm going to go ahead and just put the yolks into my little mini food processor here. This is the Braun 3-in-1 that I've like been obsessed with because you can do so many different things with it. It's an immersion blender and like a mini food processor. But I'm just going to take my eggs and directly like kind of invert them to get the yolks into that container. And then you just go in with your favorite buffalo sauce. And then I'm going to use some avocado oil mayo and a little bit of Dijon mustard. The recipe called for spicy mustard, but I didn't have that, so I just used Dijon. And then I added in some salt and pepper, and then I went ahead and blended that up. And then you just want to season it to taste. So see if you need any more salt or pepper. I ended up adding in some more of the buffalo sauce and actually added a little too much, so mine got a little bit thin. But then you're going to add in your blue cheese. I prefer Gorgonzola, so that's what I added in. Gave it another pulse so it would all combine. And then all you have to do is fill your egg whites with the mixture. And this is really versatile because you can add and take away like based on your taste preferences. So I love that. But who doesn't love like buffalo chicken dip, things like that? But here's a different recipe and a different way to have those flavors. So once you plate it, I just drizzle on some buffalo sauce and then top it with more Gorgonzola, and then these are ready to serve. Another thing that I love is you can make these ahead of time and have them ready to go. Anything to help you out the day of like a party or get together, I love. Next up, we have stuffed mushrooms, and these are blue cheese stuffed mushrooms, but again, I'm going to be using that Gorgonzola like I mentioned before. I prefer Gorgonzola to blue cheese. Now, this recipe is inspired by a recipe my sister makes every year at Thanksgiving. Her stuffed mushrooms are the best, and I thought that I knew the recipe, but there were a couple things I did differently when I was talking to her about it after I made these, so I'll let you know. But I'm just going to start out by dicing up some green onion, and then I'm also going to roughly chop some walnuts. The walnuts give a great texture in these, so you definitely don't want to leave them out. And then in a bowl, I have some softened cream cheese. I'm going to add in the green onion and the walnuts. And then I added Worcestershire sauce. She does not do that. I thought she did. But she also adds parsley, which I did not do. But then you want to do like salt and pepper. Since I did the Worcestershire, I only added pepper because the Worcestershire is pretty salty and the Gorgonzola is pretty salty, so I didn't think that I needed it. So you're just going to go ahead and add that in there too, just until you have as much as your heart desires. And then again, season to taste with salt and pepper. Now, I'm telling you, if you've never tried stuffed mushrooms like this, you have to try this recipe. They are so good. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that mixture and then put it into my mushroom caps. I just went ahead and cleaned them, remove the stems, and then I try to really press that mixture down into the mushroom, and then I top it on top. And I actually give like a good mound there because the filling is my favorite part. Now, she would normally bake these in the oven, probably like 350, 375 until they're done. I popped mine in the air fryer at 390 degrees for 8 minutes, and they came out perfect. The filling was nice and browned, ooey gooey, and the mushrooms were really tender. You have to try air fryer mushrooms if you haven't done it already. Next up, we have low carb barbecue chicken dip, and this recipe cannot be any easier. You're just going to start out with some softened cream cheese and then add in your barbecue sauce. I'm adding the no sugar added barbecue sauce so I can control the amount of sugar in it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take my my mixer and mix all of that together well so it's nice and smooth. And then after you have that combined, all you're going to do is add in some shredded cheddar cheese and some shredded chicken. This night I just used a rotisserie chicken, so it was really easy to do. And then just stir all of that together to combine. And then you're just going to place it into your casserole dish and then spread it out evenly. Now, I had this smaller casserole dish, which is why I'm using it, but you can absolutely just put this into a pie plate. And if you did that, your dip would be a lot thicker than mine ends up being using this size of a casserole. But then you just want to top it with some additional shredded cheddar cheese and then a little bit more of the barbecue sauce that you're going to be using. And then this goes in the oven at 350 degrees. The original recipe says 15 minutes. I cooked mine for about 20 to 25, just until it was really hot and bubbly. And then you can serve this with like traditional chips or crackers. You could do keto crackers. I love the Siete almond flour tortilla chips. They're a really great gluten-free option. But whatever you serve it with, you're going to love it. This dip is amazing.
Thank you so much for joining me today. If you try any of these recipes, I would love it if you would let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe and join my YouTube family. And I cannot wait to see you in the next video.